Support provided by the Chesapeake and Newport News with chef-centric farm-to-table dining. thechesapeake.org. Hi everyone, I'm Jay Sennett. Welcome to another edition of Cooking with Jay. And those of you who watch the show know that occasionally I have a very special guest chef on the show with me. And today is another one of those shows where I have a very special guest. And just a quick little story about how I found out about Fernanda. Where I work at WHRO, which you all know, right across the parking lot over to 49th Street, there is this little restaurant that is kind of off the corner from Hampton Boulevard called Chorizo, right? And I would walk past it going to get a pizza slice or something like that, and I would keep looking at this restaurant, right? Because there had been something else, a few things beforehand. And one day, I don't know, I said, well, I want to go in here, right? And just check it out. It's Mexican food. I like Mexican food. So I go in, but I got the vibe of authentic Mexican food, right? And you don't hear that often. So when I went in, one of my favorites in Mexican cuisine is the enchilada, right? So I asked Fernanda, and by the way, this is Fernanda Martínez.
Hi.
The chef over there at Chorizo. And I said, can you make an enchilada? And she said, yes. And what we're laughing about, she gave me, and when she gave me this dish and made this dish for me, I remember looking at this dish and thinking, man, that's a strange looking enchilada. I never had an enchilada that looked like that, right? Come to find out, it's not an enchilada. That's why it looked different. But she made me believe it was an enchilada. But it's not an enchilada. It is a entomatada.
That's right.
And let me hear you say that.
Entomatadas.
Now, Fernanda, give us the history of this entomatada.
Okay, I'm from Mexico, and the entomatadas are original from my town. I'm from Tampico, Tamaulipas.
Is that West Coast or East Coast?
East Coast, Gulf of Mexico, and close to Texas.
Brownsville, Texas, right?
Yeah, actually, yes.
South of Brownsville, Texas.
Yeah.
So this dish, entomatada, was a dish that
it's a traditional dish.
You grew up with it.
Yes, since
right.
I was since I was born. I mean, yeah.
And it's something that's pretty indigenous to your region, where you're from. You grew up eating these. But it's in the enchilada family, though, right?
Yeah.
Because you have the tortilla, you have
Yes.
the red sauce, the tortillas,
Cheese.
and cheese. So I asked her if she would come. I go over there. I eat these things. I can eat my weight in these things because I love these things, right? And they know I come back every time I come in this restaurant. I don't even have to ask them. I don't have to tell them what I want. So they walk in, they start making the dish.
Yes.
Right? So I said, well, why don't you come on my show? I told her, introduce myself. You know, I'm not some sort of weirdo. I actually have a cooking show, and I cook, and I have guests on my show. So I thought that would be a wonderful thing to get her on the show to talk about this dish that she makes from her country and make it for us. Now, due to time factors, you know, there's chicken, there's shredded chicken, but the chicken's already made. You know, we don't have all hours to cook the chicken and cook the sauce and all that stuff. But she is going to make what today?
I'm gonna start making the tortillas first, and the restaurant we make handmade corn tortillas. Okay, and I have everything ready here.
Okay, and she's going to make the entomatada, and I'm going to make a complimentary dish that I thought would work well with it. And in Latino cuisine, there's no better compliment than any dish than rice and beans, right?
Yeah.
In any Latino culture, you know, if you're Mexico, if you're from Cuba, if you're South America, you know, which I know have a good history in South America, rice and beans, you can't fail. So, but I do have a question. Is there? You have the red rice and beans, and you have the black beans.
Yeah, actually, I grew up with the black beans only.
But there's a term for it, right? The red beans and the black beans. What do you call the black beans and rice? Or because I know in Cuba it's different. The Cubans refer to the black beans and rice one way, and the red beans and rice in another way, and it depends on what area you're from.
Yeah, actually, in the where I'm from, is we use only the black beans.
Only the black beans.
Yes.
Well, I hope I'm not going to disappoint you today because I'm going to use the red beans. I'm gonna make
Okay,
red
that's
beans
good.
and
I
rice.
like them too.
Okay, so let's get busy cooking here.
Yeah, sure.
You can get started on and
Okay.
take us through how you're going to make this.
Okay, first of all, this is the, well, we call it masa, is the dough to make the tortillas.
And I'll get started with what I'm doing back here.
Yeah, sure.
And in here, it's kind of like the equivalent of the sofrito, right? I'm using, in a lot of cuisine, it's the onions, celery, red bell pepper. It's just onion and two different bell pepper, red bell pepper and green bell pepper. That's what I'm putting in here. Some oil. And what do you call that dough, Fernanda?
In Spanish,
That right there.
masa.
So that's the tortilla already
Yes,
made.
yes.
Okay.
And you can use maseca.
What is that?
Maseca is the brand.
Is what?
The brand.
Okay.
Okay, and you can find it in any store right
Now
now.
these are pre-made tortillas.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't pre.
No, this one, yeah. I made a tortilla, yeah.
So she makes her own tortilla, right?
Yeah.
And use just flour and.
No, actually, we're so famous because we only make handmade tortillas for the tacos, for the entomatadas. Yes, only handmade.
So, but what goes in it? You have to put. What binds it together? Or is that a secret?
Just water and salt. That's it.
So what makes the dough?
Is the powder called maseca.
Maseca.
Maseca, yeah.
Where do you get maseca? Can you get
Everywhere, everywhere.
Where?
In these days, you can find it everywhere. Before in 90s, 2000, it was really hard to find a lot of like authentic Mexican stuff. But not anymore.
And what I did, I'm using this jasmine rice, and I rinsed it, and you want to rinse it until the water gets fairly clear, okay? So you can get a lot of that starch off the rice. Okay. Now we just have olive oil, just gentle olive oil in here, all right? And what I'm going to do now is add my rice in here, okay? Excuse me. That. Now you don't leave this rice in here long. It starts to brown just a little bit. I used a cup of rice. And I'm going to use a couple of cups of chicken broth. Fernanda,
Yes.
so when you cook the tortillas, what happens after they're done?
Okay. We add a little bit of this grease I have here. Actually, this grease comes from the beef cheek.
That's grease? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
From the beef cheek we make. Because we have different kinds of proteins, and one of them are beef cheeks. And actually is the #1 top sell taco.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where do we get?
This grease
Yes.
from the broth. Okay, so this go here.
Wow.
And that make the color orange for the tortillas.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Huh. Ba-ba-ba. Tomato paste. The star of this show are these things, not this.
And we just need to wait.
And while we're waiting, I'm gonna add the chicken broth. Now, do you have to use chicken broth in this? No, you do not. You can use water, right? Water would be okay.
Yes.
This is the shredded chicken. Now you
That
make
one,
these
yeah.
with shredded chicken and
Chipotle.
chipotle, but you asked me what kind of chicken I wanted before, like shredded or
Or grill.
grilled.
Yeah, that's other thing
Right.
we have. We have the grilled chicken, or we have the tinga. This is chicken tinga. That's the name.
Okay. So I'm adding some red beans in there. You want the back one on?
Yeah,
No,
that's
this one. Yeah,
No,
there you go.
oh, I want that one too. Yeah.
This one on? Okay.
Thank you. And
There,
this
now.
one is the tomato sauce for the entomatadas.
Wow. While she's doing that, I'm gonna add some adobo seasoning to the rice, which is basically salt, turmeric, black pepper, garlic, and it brings some deep flavor
Looks good.
to this. Now, I'm a little like apprehensive. Why, Jay, are you apprehensive? Well, because I'm making rice and beans with a Mexican chef. That's pretty intimidating. Or it should be intimidating, right?
Yes. This is almost ready.
And I'm going to add, last but not least, a little bit of some tomato sauce. Okay. Just a touch. Okay, that's it. That. Let's stir it up a little bit. Those
Okay.
look beautiful.
My tortillas are ready.
For
Is
tortillas.
this one right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just want to add just a pinch of salt in here, a little bit more. Some with the sofrito, or the adobo rather. A little black pepper in there. So there's going to be a little bit of heat in here, in this rice and beans. So you want to take these off now, or is that ready?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for this and the salsa. I think both of them are good now.
Doo-doo-boo, doo-doo-doo. So, the restaurant,
Yes.
Fernanda. Tell us a little bit about how you came up with the concept for the restaurant. Like you've been here in the States for several years,
Yes.
and you've worked in the food industry, either as a waitress or
Server, kitchen helper, yeah,
And all of a sudden, boom!
Yeah.
You came up with this
You know,
idea.
because I say if I open my own restaurant, I want to do it differently, with a different concept. Because you can see a lot of restaurants sell authentic Mexican food, but it's not. It's more like Tex-Mex. And Tex-Mex is delicious. I love all this cheese dip on the everything. I love it. Okay, it's nothing wrong with that. But say I'm gonna build my own concept to bring and teach people what is authentic Mexican food. Yeah.
So, you had the concept for the restaurant
Yeah.
that you were going to make dishes that were kind of familiar to you growing up.
Yes, something different.
Something different. And so what other dishes that do you serve that would be different than the more traditional Mexican restaurants that the Americans are used to?
Okay. For
experiencing?
example, the tortillas. Probably few restaurants can make handmade corn tortillas. That's one thing. Another thing is, well, the rice and beans are vegan.
Yours or
Yes, mine.
So you don't
Yeah.
you don't use broth? to
No, nothing because
mine
yeah.
aren't vegan today, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm using some chicken juice.
Yeah, we don't use any chicken broth or beef broth because we have a lot of customers, like vegan customers or vegetarian customers.
Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, what else? Yeah.
Oh, we have, okay, if we talk about the bar, we make everything from scratch. Like the lime juice, the orange juice, all the purees for the different flavors of margaritas too. And we only use top shelf liquor, no else. There's another thing, yeah.
Top shelf,
Yes, only.
not middle, not bottom, but
Only
the top shelf.
yes.
And so how many menu items would you say you have?
Okay, I had probably like 8 appetizers, or we call them shareables. We have 2 main entries, one included the entomatadas, and we have 12 proteins for the tacos. Yeah, 12 proteins.
Proteins. Okay, what would they be? Beans and,
No.
or are you talking about referring to
Yeah.
meats?
Yes, from the meats, yeah.
So what 12 meats?
Okay, chicken, tinga,
Right.
grilled chicken.
So different variations
Yes,
of chicken.
yes.
Okay,
We
okay.
have even beef tripe. You like intestines?
No.
A lot of people love it, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that's another thing that's authentic. You know, we eat everything.
Yeah, I asked her. I asked her if there was food that she didn't like, and she said, "No."
Yeah, I was thinking for
How
a
can somebody
minute.
not like
Yeah.
something? There has to be something out of you don't like.
I love everything. Even we can cook too the beef tongue. Have you tried the beef tongue?
I have tried beef tongue,
Oh, people
Yeah.
love it too.
and I did, and it couldn't talk anymore.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for the cow. You know, I just
I
said,
know.
I can't eat these things anymore.
I know.
Because I know what it feels like when I bite my tongue, okay?
So that's what makes us different, you know.
12 proteins.
Yeah.
And these proteins are part of different dishes that you use.
Yes.
Not just like one particular
No, you
dish.
can make with all the proteins. You can make the entomatadas,
Right.
and you can make tortas. The tortas is the big sandwich, or the quesadillas. Actually, the quesadillas are made with handmade corn tortilla too.
All right, so you gave us some of the appetizers. What are some of the main courses now? That's our-
The entomatadas, we
Right.
have the big steak. It's with rice, beans. It comes with rice, beans, tortillas, or salad. Yeah.
And so beef, chicken, you use any pork? Is there
Yeah, actually, we have the carnitas. We have the trompo pastor. It's the marinated pork with adobo. And we have chorizo, of
I'll
course.
put some adobo in
Yeah.
the rice, right?
Yeah.
So, see, she's familiar with the adobo.
Yeah.
It's like great, you
Yeah.
know, it's great. And these things right here, okay, she's going to serve this with this dish. I tried these. I'm not a fan of beets, okay? All right. There are things I don't like. She says there's nothing she doesn't like, you know, for food-wise. Vinegar and beet
Beet
juice.
juice, yeah.
Hence the red color, right? Or you can also use red wine
Yes.
vinegar. But I didn't taste the beet juice in there. And I love these things.
They're
So-
really good.
And in addition to flavor, a different kind of sidebar flavor, you have the beautiful visuals when she prepares this plate. Now, that's going to be the plate right there.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite plates.
So the rice is cooking and almost there.
Okay.
Almost. We have a few more minutes. Almost. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
And tell us about the cheese. What
The
kind of
cheese,
cheese? You're using
yes.
a couple of different cheeses for this.
When
correct?
we started, we only used this cheese. It's queso fresco.
Queso fresco. Now,
Yeah.
where can people here get queso fresco?
Now you can find it in every, like a big grocery store. Yes.
Not just a Latino store.
No anymore.
Right.
Thanks God.
What's it called again?
Yeah. Queso fresco.
Queso fresco.
If you translate it, it's just fresh cheese.
And it kind of looks like feta cheese.
Not
Looks
like a fresh cheese.
No.
Oh yeah, you say
Just the visual,
yeah.
looking at it, looks like feta cheese.
Yeah, looks like. Okay.
And then this cheese right here, there's a couple of different, is that cheddar
Yes.
maybe? So 2 different cheddars.
And the other one, I don't remember the name, but when we started, we only used this one. But I just realized that this one melts very well in the bottom with the tortillas and the red salsa. And then I use this one only for garnish on the top.
And what's the avocado for?
They have a garnish too.
Oh, garnish. Okay. That's
yep.
right. You put avocado
Yeah.
on mine. That's right.
3 slices.
So she's using the avocado as garnish, the pickled onions.
Yes.
And we're going to have, and I'm honoring their tradition, and I'm making rice and beans. And I confess, ladies and gentlemen, those people who know Jay Sennett know that I do not like beans. But I have been known to eat a pork and bean, a green bean, but that's a fake bean. But in general, not a bean fan. But it's like I don't like yogurt, but I cook with yogurt, right? I
Okay.
make sauces with yogurt.
Okay.
So I have a pretty expansive palate, believe me. And so and somebody asked me at work, so what are you going to make with Fernanda? And I said, well, I'm going to make rice and beans. Well, you don't like beans. I said, I can cook food I don't like. I mean, I don't eat, right? And because somebody else might like it. And they go, well, how if you're not going to like beans, you're not going to taste it. I said, I'll taste the rice.
Yeah.
Because you know why? A bean over here is a bean over there. It's going to taste the same. What's going to be different is the sauce, the flavor. That's the most important thing. All right? The bean is a different kind of texture, flavor. And we are almost ready to plate. Just a little bit longer,
A little bit
couple
more.
more minutes. How do you think that looks, Fernanda?
Looks good.
Yep.
There's the tortillas. You see, they're beautiful. Change color.
And what did you say? What is this that you put in there with this?
This one comes from the beef cheeks broth.
Beef cheek broth.
Yes.
Where do you get beef cheek broth?
From the providers I have, or you can find it in Restaurant Depot too.
Is it a type of? It's not oil, right? It's not cooking oil. It's just a different flavor.
Because I use a lot of stuff to make the beef cheek. We call it barbacoa. So we made it with a lot of stuff. So that's the color get
Okay.
after 6 hours cooking.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
It is.
Very interesting. Okay, over here you have.
Okay, first cheese. This one right here. Like I say, we use
As a
yeah.
bed, and that will
Yeah,
melt under your sauce.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just realized this one is better to be in the bottom before the salsa,
Okay.
and the salsa is ready. Looks good, right?
And I know that tastes delicious.
You eat it every day,
I
right?
eat it almost every day, so I know how it tastes.
Okay, now
The chicken.
the chicken. Well, this one is your favorites, but you can add any kind of protein we have. Okay.
Would this work better than a spoon? Or?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Okay. And now We add some sour cream. Okay, and now the queso fresco on the top.
My mouth is watering.
Okay. Can you help me to cut one avocado? Thank you.
She would ask me to do this, of course,
Thank you.
and I don't know how you cut yours.
Look at this. Okay, perfect.
Watch the knife there. Got it.
Okay, something like this.
Any knife? Oh, no, you
Done.
got it.
Yeah.
All right, so last but not least, want to add some rice in that? Or in a different plate, different bowl?
You can put it over
Beautiful.
here.
How about let you do it?
Okay.
You do it. Okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
let her do it.
Okay. That looks good. Maybe a little bit more. There you go.
Look at that.
Looks yummy.
Yummy! I'm getting goosebumps. That is like incredible. So you make your own tortilla, right?
Yes.
And then you have on the bottom this cheese, which is cheddar.
It's
And-
already melted right now.
So it's a sharp cheddar, a mild cheddar, probably a mild cheddar on top of the tortilla, all right? And then you add this sauce. Now it's a tomato-based sauce, right?
Yeah. Actually, when we cook like more than 20 tomatoes with some onions, garlic, like a chicken seasoning. Yeah.
And so it's probably kind of the secret sauce.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
And a little bit more.
yeah, right. So the sauce, then you add the protein, the meat. In this case, shredded chicken, but it doesn't have to be
No.
shredded chicken, right?
You can pick from the different 12 proteins we have.
Wow, 12 proteins. And then you add this particular cheese here, which I'm sorry I can't remember.
Queso fresco.
Queso fresco, the cheese there, which kind of looks like feta cheese. And what is this?
That's sour cream.
Sour cream, okay? And then you have the pickled onions, which are pickled in vinegar and beet juice.
Yes.
Right? You get that beautiful color.
Yes.
And avocado, of course. And then I made pretty much
Rice and beans.
just traditional rice and beans. And how I made it, I created kind of a sofrito with just bell peppers, with green, red bell pepper, and some onion. Saute those a little bit in some olive oil and butter. Then I put about a cup of jasmine rice in there mix around until the rice kind of becomes a little bit translucent a little bit. Then I add a couple of cups of chicken broth, 2 1/4 cups of chicken broth. Then I add about a teaspoon of some adobo seasoning, a little extra salt and pepper in there, because the adobo seasoning also has salt, also has pepper, has garlic powder and turmeric in there. And then I added the red beans. I didn't use the black beans. I made it with red beans. And is that everything I put in there? I think so.
Yeah.
Just add a little extra salt and pepper. And we have some classic, tomato paste. Forgot about that.
And a little bit of double, right? You say?
Tomato paste and a little tomato sauce. Just a little bit of tomato sauce in there to make the rice and beans. My mouth is watering, and I'm actually looking at beans on a plate. So Fernanda Martínez,
Yes.
she's chef over at Chorizo, right? And the address again is
4820
4820
Hampton Boulevard,
Hampton Boulevard.
but we are in 49th Street.
Okay, so 4820 Hampton Boulevard. I think it's technically on 49th Street.
Yes.
You know, that's what I say. You know, because it's down a little bit from Hampton Boulevard, but they say Hampton Boulevard. Fernanda, I mean, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so
and
much
make
for
this
having
beautiful,
us. Thank you.
delicious food. And folks, I eat in this restaurant because it's right across the street from where I work. And this dish, I have yet to try anything else they make in the restaurant.
That's the only thing.
Because it's so good.
It looks like the only thing we have in the menu for you.
One day I'm going to surprise everybody. I'm going to come to this restaurant and order something and say, stop! The price is sold out. I want something else. And they're all going to look at me like, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm going to go, yeah, seriously. So, Chorizo, you got to check this place out, man. And again, the concept, it's getting away from the type of Mexican food that most Americans are used to eating. The Tex-Mex or the American Mex. We didn't talk about very quickly
Oh, the salsas, yeah.
the salsas
Yes.
right here. Okay, I'll let you do that. So this is habanero.
Yeah, that one, we always, when you come in, we complement with some chips and salsas on the table, and we have 3 different salsas. This one is the queen.
But that's pure habanero, right?
It's pure habanero.
Which will
yes.
burn the pink off your
Yes,
tongue. Okay?
and you know what? A lot of people love it. Say like, "Oh my God, it's crazy! It's really, really spicy, but the flavor is so good." Yes.
What's the green
This
one?
one is kids' favorite. It's just salsa verde.
Salsa verde.
Yeah,
I made some salsa verde the other
it's
day.
really good. It's not spicy at all. I mean, you probably just a little bit, but kids like it. Kids love it. And this one right here is medium. Like it's not too spicy. It's made with morita.
What's that?
It's a kind of dried chili.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called morita. Yeah,
Morita.
morita. Yeah, and onions and tomatoes. Yeah.
But it's not that spicy.
No.
So you
So
have
we
3
have this mild, medium, and super hot.
I've tasted the super hot, and the salsa verde had those, and those are delicious. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, it's made in a different way, folks. All right, they make their food. If you're thinking about like going into this place thinking you're going to get traditional Mexican cuisine that you're used to eating in most American restaurants, it's going to be still going to be a little surprising, a little shocking for you. Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of experiences like that. Yeah. Some people like it, some people don't. But yeah.
But it's pretty authentic. She's making the food of her culture that she grew up with. You got to check out Chorizo's. I highly recommend it. Obviously, wanted to get her on the show and cook for you, make one of these, my favorite dish here, actually the only dish I've ever tried here, and it's absolutely delicious. This dish alone is worth going to this restaurant, okay? Fernanda, thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Thank you.
And your beautiful food.
You're welcome.
And your time. And I hope that a lot of people see this and will come out and check your food out, because they should, because it's fantastic. And I would also like to thank the Chesapeake for their underwriting support of Cooking with Jay. So appreciative of the support. And we appreciate you watching the show. Cooking with Jay airs Sunday evenings starting at 6. And I say it like that because if you can't watch it at 6, you can, if you come back at 9 o'clock, you can scroll down and it stays up on the page, the WHRO Public Media Facebook page. You can see archive editions of the show at WHRO Public Media YouTube channel. And don't forget my Senate in Session Jazz radio show, Monday through Thursday nights from 9 until 1, Saturday mornings for all those who can't sleep from 1 until 5, Sunday afternoons from 1 until 5, and that's on WHRV FM 89.5, and the R&B Chronicles Friday nights from 7 until 8. But this show about food, the love of cuisine, that's what this show's about. Cooking, eating good food, being creative, creating some delicious food. Fernanda, again, thank you. Check out Chorizo, Hampton Boulevard near 49th Street, right off of 49th Street. Thanks for watching, friends. We'll see you again soon with another edition of Cooking with Jay. Ciao.
Support provided by the Chesapeake in Newport News, catering to the palate of every single resident. More at thechesapeake.org.